Hey Lashistas, I am so excited to be here with you today introducing to you a brand new product by Extreme Lashes. It's our Glide Shadow Long Lasting Eyeshadow Stick. Why I'm so excited is because as a professional makeup artist, an eyelash extension lash stylist, as well as a fellow lashista, I have been searching high and low to find a product with no powdery fallout, eyelash extension compatible, as well as long lasting. This product, I'm very excited. I'm gonna show you how to turn this from a day look into a night look. I hope you're ready, because I am. All right, Lashistas, let's get started. We're gonna start by using the Glide Shadow Primer Stick. And first, we're going to take the primer stick and apply it directly from the stick all over the lid up to the brow bone. And just gently using back and forth motions, we're going to apply it all the way up to the top. Now, for those of you that love to use a brush, you can use your shader brush, take it and gently blend it all over the lid, again up to the brow bone, and you can even use the primer stick to apply to your lower lash line, just like this. So now that we've gotten started, we're gonna go ahead and begin by applying sienna in the crease. Now remember, we're doing a day look, so feel free to build softly. And of course, if you want to add a little more color, build a little darker in that crease. I'm now gonna take the blender brush and begin going in small circular motions just to fan out some of that color in my crease. And if you can see, it's really fanning out and blending very nicely. Now, let's go into the crease and we're going to use Mahogany. This is such a beautiful color. We want to go ahead and darken the crease because remember we started lighter, so we want to go ahead and darken it just a little bit more by applying almost a small V right into the crease as well. And we're going to use that blender brush again, which is so awesome, and blend it right into the crease. And you can kind of see what I'm doing. Again, using those small circular motions and just really working that crease. Isn't that gorgeous? Those colors blend so nicely together. And the glide shadows just work really well with this brush. And just go right back in and press using minimal pressure and really get that color in there. It deposits nicely. Take your blender brush again and just work that crease. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take Mahogany and we're going to apply it to the lower lash line. Gently pressing, again, minimal pressure. And then you're gonna take the pencil brush, loving this brush, and you're gonna gently just kind of smudge it in and create a nice little smoke right underneath your eye. All right, so now that we have everything all blended, we're now going to add a few extra touches. And this is gonna be to the inner corner and the top of the brow. The color that I'm gonna use is called Champagne. Love it. And again, we're gonna use the stick and we're just going to gently apply a few light strokes right at the peak of the brow. I really like that because it adds a nice little pop. Now I'm now going to take the blender brush, just gently, small circular strokes somewhat, blend it in. Now for a little pop for the inner corners. This is my favorite thing to do. I'm going to take, again, the color Champagne and just add a little stroke on the inner corner. And then what I like to do is to take my blender brush, just kind of touch the tip of it just a bit, and then apply it to the inner corner just again to add a nice little pop. We're almost done. But before we finish this look, we have to make sure that our lashes are properly groomed. And what I'm going to use to do that is going to be our lash styling retractable wand. I love this little tool. And what I'm going to do is just make sure that I gently fluff the tips. You want to make sure that you have the tips as straight as possible I'm going to actually go to the other side and just gently fluff those tips as well, just to complete my look. What do you think? So now that we've groomed our lashes, one final tip for this look. If you want a little more intensity on your lower lash line, feel free to use the Length and Volume Mascara. I love to use this because it just adds a little more depth and balance in the eye. So you're going to go ahead and just take off any excess product and gently hold your chin down if you want. Gently touch your bottom lashes just to add a little color. Can you see that? All right, Lashistas, as I promised, we're gonna do 2 looks. So let's turn this beautiful day look into a night look. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take chocolate and we're going to intensify our crease color by just adding it really, really dark right in the crease. And if you can see the way that I'm applying it, I'm putting a little more pressure than I did earlier, just to intensify that soft look that we started with for the day look. Now I'm going to use the pencil brush. And I love this brush because it just can get right in that crease and really work it and help intensify the color even more by adding nice strong strokes in the center in that crease area. Now let's darken the lower lash line. We're going to use the color Chocolate, and again I'm going to use the Glide Shadow pen directly on the lower lid. Nice gentle strokes to deposit a little more pigment than we did earlier. And now I'm going to use the pencil brush just to kind of smoke it out a bit. Taking the same shade, we're now going to apply it on the upper lash line. And I'm going to do that using the same intensity that I used applying it on the bottom. Okay. And now I'm going to use the pencil brush just to kind of smoke it out just a little bit. And don't be afraid, if the line is too big, that's okay, because you're going to smoke it out and soften it anyway. Kind of similar to what I just did. Okay. And now we're going to go ahead and use that pencil brush and just gently smoke it out. Next, we're going to intensify the look by adding onyx to the lash line, the upper lash line, just to intensify the line a little more. And so I'm going to go ahead and use the Glide Shadow stick, and I'm going to use it directly to the upper lash line. And I'm going to start right about here and just drag it out to start creating that winged look that I want to achieve. When lining the upper lash line, don't forget to sharpen the shadow stick using the sharpener on the end. And now I'm going to use the angled brush just to bring it out just a little bit. And then I'm going to work it along the lash line, and I'll go back in and fix that. Don't worry, don't let that scare you if you make a little mistake, because you can always go back in and correct it. And I'm going to turn the angled brush out just a smidge, just to keep that sharp edge, and bring it out to a nice point. So now that we have our line on, and yes, it's okay if it's not perfect, we all go through that. First, we're going to go ahead and smudge it out, and I'm going to show you how to clean it up at the end. All right, so we're going to take our pencil brush and we're going to gently just kind of smoke that line out just to diffuse it a little. You can see I'm going to go a little bit back and forth just to soften some of the intensity. It's smoke it out just a bit. Now let's diffuse the line just a little using the chocolate glide shadow. And I'm actually going to take it and use it directly on the lid. Just a little. And then I'm going to use my pencil brush just to smoke it out a tad more, just to really kind of soften that look but give a really nice smoke. It's time for the fun part, cleaning it all up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the eye makeup remover and facial cleanser along with a lint-free applicator. For me, this is the best thing because it really does clean up well. I'm just going to take a little spray, spray it on the tip, and then I'm going to work in an upward motion, just cleaning up that line. I'm doing the same step. I'm moving in an upward motion with that eye makeup remover and facial cleanser, which is cleaning this up so nicely and really helping to define my look. Now let's enhance the inner corners and highlight the brow bone. And I'm going to do that using the color Champagne. And actually I'm going to go ahead and take the glide shadow stick and apply it directly to the inner corner. Can you see that? Wow, that is a beautiful pop of color right in the inner corner. And now I'm going to go ahead and use it right underneath the brow bone, just for a little added color there. Now I'm going to use the blender brush just to bring that color down into my crease color. Finally, we're going to groom the lashes using the Lash Styling Retractable Wand. Although the shadows are long lasting, don't worry. Just use the eye makeup remover and facial cleanser, cosmetic sponges and applicators, and it's easy to remove. I've had so much fun sharing these glide shadows with you, and I can't wait for you to try them.